Yeah. Well, just wanted to see if you still had time to talk about a mitigation tech position. We did find your resume on Indeed.
Yeah, the I think for Paul Davis, I put in a resume for Mississippi though.
Yes.
Where are you guys located?
This would be for the Flowwood in Mississippi location.
Oh, okay.
Okay, okay. Just wanted to go ahead and just well, you put in the resume. We found it on Indeed. It did show that you had a little bit of some experience in regards to kind of going into what we're looking to have in this role as a tech, things like that. But do you have time right now to talk about the position, Joseph? Takes about
Yes,
20
I
minutes.
do. Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, first of all, just want to say, again, my name is Walter, calling on behalf of Paul Davis Restoration. We want to go ahead and just kind of ask you a couple questions based on what we saw on the resume. We'll tell you about the company and about the position and get to know you a little bit better. The plan is to see if this aligns mutually. That way, you know, we feel that you're a great candidate for the position, but then that you also get a sense of what the company's about, things like that. Okay?
Yeah.
But first off, we'll go ahead and just kind of ask you, tell me a little bit about yourself. Living on the personal side, you know, interests, hobbies outside of work, and then we'll get to the professional shortly.
Really, things that I like to do are work on cars. I went to automotive technical school for a year, but I had gotten sick and I missed just a lot of school. I still learned a lot and everything, but I wasn't able to keep going because I missed too much school.
But if
I
you wouldn't
kinda-
have got sick, would have continued.
Yeah, I did continue going. I just didn't go enough.
Okay. In regards to kind of what you interest, you say you like working on cars. Been living out in Mississippi, would you say for the most part?
Well, I was living in Colorado for a long time. We
Okay.
just moved out here to Mississippi about a year ago.
Okay. Would you say the family moved out there?
Yeah, my girlfriend's family moved out here.
Okay. Right. How has the adjustment been from going from Colorado to Mississippi?
It's been all right. It's a lot different. I was doing I was working with my uncle. He has a mold and water damage company in Colorado. It's called Nautilus,
Okay.
and I was working with him for a long time. We get a lot of snow and stuff out there, so it's probably a lot different, the work that you guys do compared to what
Yeah.
we did in Colorado. But
I was going to say, as I asked you a question on the transition from Colorado to Mississippi, the first thing I was thinking is the weather. It's got to be completely different from cold, and then now it's like humid, tropical weather. So, but that's great. You know, you're able to kind of do that type of work. Was it mold remediation?
yeah, so we would go in a lot of times into crawl spaces when he would need me. We would pull out like vapor barriers and spray with antimicrobial in the places that really were bad, and sand out cabinets that had bad mold and water damage. Put up like plastic barriers in certain areas where we had to contain stuff like that.
Okay. And like you said, when you worked for them, for your uncle's company, how did you feel about the restoration industry in general?
I mean, I really liked it. The reason I kept doing it was because it was good money, and it's hard work, but making that kind of money really helps.
Okay. And then would you be open to kind of looking to see other opportunities in that type of industry?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's good. Like you said, for the most part, want to have that drive to go ahead and continue to make, you know, a good income. Got to have some experience in the type of industry, so that's always a plus.
Yeah.
on your resume, it just shows that you worked um, in the restaurant industry. Do you still continue working there, or what is your current position at the moment?
Yeah, right now I'm working at Mug Shots. So I'm working in the kitchen back there, and the job I had before that was at a uh automotive place. So we fixed a lot of sports cars and stuff like that. Just a
Okay.
lot of foreign cars.
All right. So kind of like that, being around cars, like you said, kind of one of the things you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Um, so it gives you a chance to kind of, be able to good work well with your hands. It kind of ties in, being in the kitchen. Personally, I like, I used to work at a restaurant a long time ago, but it was more on the front of the house, more on the like on the bar and managing a restaurant. But it intrigued me seeing the cooks in the back. They're always, it's always a fast paced environment. There's always something to do. But if you like food, it's a great industry. So that's good you have that background. Um,
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask you a couple questions. Do you go by Joseph or a different name?
Yeah.
Joe? Great. So I'll ask a couple questions, Joe, to get an idea of what you're looking for. And then we'll also tell you about, what the more details on what the position is asking for, and then about the company. So first things first, what is your timeline? Um, in your current role, do you have to give a 2 weeks notice? Would you say you're looking to start as soon as possible if offered the position?
Yeah, I would definitely have to put in a 2 weeks notice. I've been looking for a new job for a long time, so they know that
You're actively searching.
yeah. So
Okay.
I would just have to let them know that I found something different.
Okay, that's good. I was gonna say, the baby in the background, they okay? And I heard them.
Yeah,
They saw her.
I took his he likes to play with the dog's kennel, and there's
Okay.
like a lock for it, so I took it from him.
He didn't like that. This would be your son?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I have two daughters. They're older. They're already teenagers. So, but I just remember hearing in the background. My daughter used to go through that, so understandable. But great. So they already know that you kind of actively searching. So as long as, let's say, you offered a position, then you'll give your 2 weeks. So that's kind of the timeline, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
The reason we ask is because we do want to make sure it aligns with ours. We're looking to find someone sooner rather than later, but the process kind of takes about a week and a half. So it's still within that 2 weeks. So that's good. Um, you mentioned you're looking for something, of course, closer to home. Flowwood is not too far from, I see Brandon on your resume. Is that where you're currently residing?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not that far of a drive. The location itself, um, what we feel is most of these jobs are going to be within the same area. So let's say far as probably Jackson, Flowwood, Brandon, Richland, Pearl, places like that. So I've gotten to know the area for the most part pretty well.
Yeah, I know the area okay. Not 100% great, but I've been out to Ridgeland a couple of times, and um
The
I know Brandon pretty good.
Okay. The good thing is there's GPS. So
Yeah.
if anything, just put an address, you'll be good to go. So that's good. Um, when it comes to financials, we want to make sure it aligns with what we're looking for. Do you have a set expectation of what you want to make? This could be based on personal finances, like I need to make X amount of money, to make a decision. What would you say that would be?
I feel like anywhere from 18 to 20 bucks would be good for me, but I don't know what you guys start at.
It of course varies by experience, but we're looking somewhere between, we'd say about 15 to 18 to start. But
Okay.
like you mentioned earlier, while being in the restoration industry, there's a lot of chance to kind of move up. We do offer what we feel is competitive wages. So you work overtime, there's going to be overtime pay. But then there's also going to be opportunities for growth, which means there would be, whether there are bonuses on top of the base pay, is kind of what we look for. So um, would you say that kind of still aligns? I know you're saying around 18, 20, but let's say if you're coming in around 16, to 18, is that something that you're flexible with?
That would be okay. Yeah.
Okay. As long as you said just looking for the stability within a place.
Right.
Okay. Well, since we're kind of talking about that, what would you say is what you look for in a company? We always feel that we're interviewing you, but at the same time, the chance where you can kind of, we want to know what you look for in a company.
I feel like, honestly, just good management really is what I really look for. Like right now, I'm definitely happy with the job I have. I'm not getting paid very much at all, but the management at the restaurant I'm working at is great. When I was working at Applebee's, it was not very good, and I quit Applebee's and didn't have a job for a while just because of the management there.
And that's important. Good management, good, people you work with. You spend time at work, so you want to be able to enjoy, when you go to work. The last thing you want is when you wake up or you're thinking like, you dread going to work.
Yeah.
But okay, so that's good to know at the end of the day, because it feels, having the support in case you need it, but at the same time, having communication is also important. All right, what I'm going to go ahead and do is, give me 1 second. Okay, so management is good. Let's see. This position, we do use a company vehicle. So we ask all employees if they can pass a background check and a valid driver's license. Would you say you're okay with those?
Yeah, I have a Colorado one right now. I still have to go get my Mississippi driver's license, but I'm planning on doing that on my next day off.
Okay, no worries. All right. One other thing I was gonna ask, just in case, is let's say we're still getting to know you a little bit better, Joseph. If we were to move forward with going through the process of the interview, would you say you would have a updated resume? I know because of the one that we see, it just kind of says work experience, line cook, from last year at Applebee's. But would you say you'd be able to add, your current role and even previous experience working for your uncle's restoration industry? That way, when I do speak with management and the owner of the Paul Davis location, that way it looks a little bit more presentable. Would you say you'd be able to do that?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, great, no worries. And again, this is all part of offering assistance on my part to make sure we present a presentable resume. Not saying that this one is just sometimes Indeed finds a way to format it different, but okay. So we got the information we wanted to ask you, Joseph. Appreciate it. I know you shared a little bit on the professional, previous experience, what you kind of look for, and then the personal side. So thank you for that. I'll go ahead and switch gears and I'll tell you about the company, tell you about the position, and after that, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. So, Paul Davis Restoration of Central Mississippi is a trusted name in the property damage emergency services, whether it's restoration, reconstruction, or residential and commercial properties. These properties can be affected by water, fire, mold, storms, or other disasters. So we do have a nationwide presence, more than 320 franchises throughout the U.S. and Canada. And Paul Davis is a well-known, established company that's been around since 1966. So it's been around for a long time. So this in particular location is locally owned by a husband and wife team who've been in the industry going about 20 years. So they care about the employees, want to create a great place to work, and value the employees. If an employee, works hard, shows, has a good attitude, and has that drive to want to grow within the company, this is a great place to work, Joseph. So with that being said, the position we're looking to hire is a mitigation tech. So this would play a crucial role in serving the community during times of disasters. As you kind of saw from your experience, with your uncle kind of going through crawl spaces, seeing mold, it does affect people. It's a pretty, I would say, kind of sensitive time for people that deal with disasters, whether it's water damage, fire damage, mold. So we have to kind of be empathetic and know that, we're there to help, whether they're homeowners or could be kids being around that don't have to kind of breathe all that because they can get sick. So you are helping out the community. You're providing high quality service, and then you have to take pride in what you do. That's why we feel that if you have all those, that you would do good in this position. To kind of give you day-to-day responsibilities, that would be, perform water mitigation, whether it's tarping, boarding up, doing mold remediation, carpet cleaning, things like that. Um, we provide excellent customer service when we're out in the field. We want to maintain a clean and organized and properly stocked vehicle, whether it's a van or a work van or a work truck. Um, Also assist in certain warehouse and facility related tasks when needed, whether it's moving equipment around, just kind of being able to be stocked up for when we do get called for a job. Uh, be supportive and assist other team members. And we are looking for people to take on leadership roles when required. So if that's something that you're interested in and you want to kind of maybe get to know the industry, get to know the position, but let's say you do well, Joe, and there's an opportunity for you to grow. That's something you would aspire or want to learn about?
Yeah.
Right. Uh, so we are looking for someone that's able to have a strong success drive, value the company, and then the company also values them. So have to have that good, teamwork mentality, good communication. Just someone that can get along well with the team. We have a certain culture and certain values within the company, and then the ownership is very nice. They want to make sure that their employees are always taken care of. They just ask for the employees to kind of just, if they do their job, that's great. When it comes to pay, like I mentioned, you're looking at about 15 to 18 based on experience, but then it would go up as you kind of gain through your experience within the company. There's going to be bonuses, overtime pay when, of course, performing overtime duties. There is going to be medical benefits, and then, of course, vacation time, sick time, things like that are going to be allowed, but we can discuss that later down the road, as we move forward. A vehicle, this would be when going out to the job site, we'll always use a company vehicle, company gas card, uniforms, and then cell phone is also going to be provided for the role.
Okay.
With that being said, we wanted to get to know you a little bit more because we did see a couple things on the resume and you were able to answer that. But based on that information that we got from you, the information that you got from me from this phone call, do you feel this is something you can see yourself doing and would like to move forward to the next phase of the interview process?
Yes, sir. Definitely. Definitely.
Great. All right. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I will first, when you saw the job description on Indeed, I'm pretty sure you probably saw different posts, different on your job search. Would you like me to send you the job description to your email? That way you kind of have for yourself.
Yeah.
Great. I will send that out to you. Give me 1 second, Joe. So I have an email on file. The one when we set up the call, it's Joe Voigt, V as in Victor, OIT 11@gmail.com. Is that a good email?
Yeah.
Great. So I'm going to go ahead and send that job description out to you. But then the second thing I'm going to send you is called a Spark Hire application. Are you working today, Joe, or do you have the day off?
I work at 4:00, but I'll have some time to look at it.
Great. I'm going to go ahead and send that out to you. But at the same time, I'm going to send out this what's called a Spark Hire application. Basically, it's going to continue this phone call, except you're going to be able to do it on your free time. It takes about 15, 20 minutes. It's going to ask you questions like, what are your short-term goals? What are your long-term goals? What excites you about the position or kind of gain interest? And then what previous experience do you have that would make you a good candidate? Things like that. The thing is, it is going to be a video response. So I'm going to send you the link to the email. You're gonna click on the link. It's gonna give you instructions, and then when you record your responses, if I were to ask you, does your phone have a front-facing camera?
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason I'm telling you, because that's how I did it. I had to do it myself. So I just kind of answered the questions. Like I said, it takes about 15, 20 minutes. Treat it as if you were to do an in-person interview. I would wear probably a polo shirt or a button-up shirt. No hats, no loud noises, disruptions in the background, and then just answer the questions clear to the best of your ability. The first question is, your name, the position you're applying for. Hi, my name is Joseph Varela. I'm applying for the mitigation tech position here in Mississippi. Just like that. Second question is interest and hobbies. The same thing you mentioned. You like to work on cars, and things like that. Just kind of add your interest and hobbies. So once that is completed, we will get a confirmation. If you can finish that today, Joe, I will follow back up with you tomorrow and then discuss the next steps, which kind of leads into a face-to-face interview. So that way I can present you to management and to the ownership. And if everything goes well, who knows, if they decide to choose you for the role, we'll move forward from there.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, just any questions you might have for me at the moment?
Yeah, what do you guys have as far as like health insurance? You guys have like a monthly would I have to pay monthly for health insurance to you guys, or do I have to get health insurance through someone else? Or
that's a great question. I don't have the exact like the company that we hire for that offers that. I just know that there's healthcare covered for the employees. This starts after the 90 days. But I can go ahead and ask that question so I can get that a little bit more in detail. So I'll be able to respond to you when I do talk to you on the next time on the phone.
Okay.
A great question. I'll go ahead and look into that. With that being said, Joe, just want to go ahead and thank you for allowing us this time to get to know you a little bit better, tell you about the role, and once you finish that Spark hire, I'll follow back up with you. In case you need assistance, don't hesitate to reach out. Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, Joe. Take care.
You too.